instances of extreme and heavy rainfall are becoming regular across the world and are set to become even more common. These torrential spells are triggering landslides, flash floods and inundating both urban and rural regions here. In the last week, 3 major places across the world witnessed such downpours. Now, flash floods and landslides have killed at least 42 people across India. Rivers in parts of North India are unsped. In some cases, houses, shops have fully submerged in sweeping deluge. Situation is expected to normalize only later this week. Meanwhile, torrential rainfall is pounding southwestern parts of Japan. Floods and mudslides have killed at least 6 people and 2 others are missing. Japan is the latest country to be hit by unusually heavy rain, raising new fears regarding the pace of climate change. And New York, too, is facing a similar deluge. Extremely heavy rain pounded the U.S. northeast, resulting in catastrophic flooding across the region. Streets in New York and Vermont have turned into raging rivers. Now, it's important to note that all 3 events happened nearly simultaneously in the past week. Although they may seem distant and unconnected, atmospheric scientists say that they have something in common. Storms forming in warmer temperatures are making extreme rainfall a reality.
As the planet warms, one of the things that changes in the atmosphere is how much water the atmosphere can hold. And so warmer air holds more water. And so when we have warmer oceans pretty much everywhere, then what happens is it evaporates to fill the atmosphere. And so we have more water vapor.
Now, warmer atmosphere holds more moisture, leading to storms, dumping more precipitation, which can have deadly outcomes. For every 1 degree Celsius the atmosphere warms, it holds approximately 7% more moisture. As per NASA, the global average temperature has increased at least 1.1% since 1880. So storms are forming in an atmosphere which is getting warmer. Pollutants like methane and carbon dioxide heat up the atmosphere instead of allowing the heat to radiate away from Earth. They hold on to it.
Unfortunately, we are on a path to more global warming, right? We have not stopped emitting carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. As long as we do so, the planet will continue to warm. As it warms, we will have more water vapor in the atmosphere. As we have more water vapor in the atmosphere, we will have more intense rainfall. And so we're anticipating that until that situation changes, we're going to see more and more of the same, and in fact, more extreme rainfall and more intense heat waves.
And to discuss this and understand this better, we're now being joined by Dr. Vishwas Chitale. Dr. Chitale is the Senior Program Lead, Council on Energy, Environment and Water. Thank you so much for joining us on the show, sir.
Thank you for having me on the show, Hem.
Sir, to begin with, could you please tell us how the weather patterns are changing and what actually has triggered these frequent and intense rain and floods?
Global warming is a new phenomenon to us. It's not a country level problem, but it's rather a global problem that everybody is facing. And at the same time, there are floods in almost all different parts of the world. So this we can directly attribute to the climate change, and then a direct impact is seen in terms of increasing greenhouse gas emissions and concentrations, especially carbon dioxide and methane concentrations. that are resulting from human activities. And if we see from one of our reports, what we have seen is nearly 45% of districts in India have gone under unsustainable landscape changes that have resulted also in increasing the carbon emissions, and that is leading to overall global warming also across the world.
Right, sir. Now, what do you think can be done to mitigate the impact of climate change that has made freak weather events so common? What sort of structural changes would you say are required for the same?
We can go back to Paris Agreement that was signed in 2015 by 196 member countries, and countries had decided certain targets, like nationally determined contributions, based on which they are supposed to achieve these targets in order to continue the reality of 1.5 degree world that we talk about, which means that to reduce or to continue to achieve that climate change or rate of increase in temperature will be continued only until 1.5 degrees Celsius. To achieve that by 2030, countries are supposed to also work on carbon action or climate action in intensifying their emission reduction. And as we can see, currently the global stocktake process is underway, in which countries are revisiting their strategies. They are coming up with the action plans, and this whole process will conclude in COP28 at the end of this year, which will give us a clear picture of where does the world stands in terms of climate action.
Right. Doctor, now also, as I mentioned in the report earlier, now atmospheric scientists say that a warmer atmosphere, it holds more moisture, which is what is leading to more precipitation. And of course, we've seen the consequences as well. What can you tell us about this and the factors that are involved?
In terms of atmospheric variation, as we have also seen just last month, that El Nino factor has also come into this picture. So at this time of the year, we are seeing a very complex phenomenon in terms of a lot of areas holding very moist air and leading to heavy downpours in different parts of India as well as in different parts of the world. So this is totally dealt with the moisture levels in terms of the wind patterns, various climatic and atmospheric factors are involved in this analysis. And also, some of the recent facts that we came to know are also previously Bay of Bengal was known to be the hotspot for cyclones. What we are seeing in terms of the recent analysis is due to increasing sea surface temperature in Arabian Sea. Now Arabian Sea is going to see more cyclones in coming years. So the climatic patterns are also changing that has changed during past 2 decades. And if likely the pattern continues to grow, we are going to see more frequent and more disastrous events in coming years as well.
All right. Well, Dr. Chital, thank you so much for joining us on this show with your insights on this. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.